Hey YouTube, Ed here with Jack of all trades and welcome to another video. So today what we're going to talk about is the 308 Winchester. And is the 308 Winchester a dying cartridge? That's going to be the subject of our discussion today, so let's get right into the video. And welcome back. So yes, the subject of today's video is the 308 Winchester cartridge, and is it a dying cartridge? There's been a lot of scuttlebutt and a lot of rumors running around that the 308 Winchester is in fact a dying cartridge, and we're going to have that discussion today. But before we do, as per the usual, I got to ask you to go down and hit that like and subscribe button. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you get notified of upcoming videos. And hit me with those comments. If there's anything that you want to see me talk about, if there's a project you want to see me do, or anything you want me to test or review, let me know in the comments down below, and I will certainly try to get that done. In fact, this video today is the precursor to a request that a subscriber asked me to do, and that was comparing the 308 Winchester to a 30-06 Springfield. But before that video happens, I figured we should go ahead and do a video on a little bit on the 308. So with all that being said, let's get right into it. All right, so the 308 Winchester, where did it come from? So many people believe that the 308 Winchester was developed from the 300 Savage, which is simply not true. Like many great cartridges, the 308 was conceived out of a need for a better military cartridge, and the 300 Savage was simply inspiration for that process. The M1 Garand, though a massive leap forward in military arms advancement, was heavy in the hand and fired the high-powered 30-06 Springfield cartridge. A great cartridge in its own right, the 30-06 did have a couple of drawbacks though. It had a pretty fair amount of recoil, and the combat loadout was physically heavy to carry. Once again, the military started to look for lighter options in a combat weapon. During the 1940s, the 300 Savage became the basis for experimentation for the U.S. military, who was looking for a lighter recoiling short-action infantry rifle. Those experiments resulted in the development of the T65 series of cartridges. The original T65 experimental cases designed by the Frankfurt Arsenal were similar to the 300 Savage, but they just simply had less case taper. The T65 cases were actually made from standard 30-06 Springfield cases, which in truth had less case capacity than the 300 Savage because the Arsenal's cases had slightly thicker walls. Later on, the T65 cases were lengthened ever so slightly, and this provided a ballistic performance that more closely resembled that of a 30-06 Springfield service cartridge. This was also partly possible because the rifle propellants had progressed significantly over the past 35 years. The military, however, did not adopt the new cartridge before the Winchester Company saw a great potential in the T65 designs, in which time they introduced the 308 Winchester in 1952. Winchester's Model 70, Model 88, Model 100 rifles were all subsequently chambered for the new cartridge. It wasn't actually until 1954 that NATO and the United States military adopted the T65, and they called it the 7.62x51 NATO. Since its inception, the 308 Winchester has become arguably one of the most, if not the most popular short-action big game hunting cartridge worldwide. It is commonly used for hunting, but it has also found a prominent following in the competitive target shooting world, particularly in the long-range and precision disciplines, as well as in the military and police sharpshooting or sniping arenas. The relatively short case makes the 308 Winchester especially well adapted for short-action rifles in every conceivable sporting, competition, and military or law enforcement application. Now, the 308 Winchester has been called the world's greatest long-range sniper round, and it has also been called the inherently most accurate cartridge ever, among other equally outlandish accolades. The truth, in my opinion, is this. The 308 is truly a great cartridge, and nobody's arguing that. That has been used for everything from hunting of all types to long-range sniping and competitive shooting, and it has done very well and even excelled in those spaces. But the 308 is not some mystical, magical cartridge that will cure all your woes. The 308 has been called the most accurate cartridge by so many that the reputation is stuck like glue. Why is that? Well, first let's explore the case design itself, which in my opinion is the least important. Those who revere the 308 will tell you that the shorter powder column of the case provides for more efficient powder burning and the ability to use faster burning powders, and that is what attributes to its remarkable accuracy. And though this concept has merit and probably has a certain degree of truth to it, there are plenty of other cartridges out there that use longer, higher capacity case and the same projectiles as the 308 Winchester and achieve some very impressive groups, often equaling that of the 308. I personally believe that the 308 can attribute its accuracy to several other things like reduced recoil. It is well known that rifles that have less recoil shoot better for several reasons, not least of which is less shooter error due to flinching. Another reason the 308 has gained such fame, I personally believe, is due to marketing. When the 308 was first introduced by the Winchester Company, Winchester obviously wanted to sell guns and ammunition. I believe the company threw everything it had into making the 308 perceived as the best. It was chambered in the company's premier rifle platforms, used and promoted in competitions as the best of the best, and with the advances in manufacturing quality control, the ammunition and the firearms were far better than they ever were before. Other companies, seeing the potential of the 308, jumped headfirst into the shallow end, trying to outdo each other with better rifles and better ammunition. Every major gun and ammunition manufacturer was touting the latest and greatest new cartridge, the 308 Winchester. Now, you must remember that this all happened in the 1950s and the 1960s. During the dawn of television, and advertising executives were reaching far larger audiences than ever before. It was simply a matter of timing. The 308 came along at the right time and the right place in history. Better firearms, better ammunition, more audience-specific advertising, and market saturation of the latest and greatest are truly what I believe has driven the 308 to a lot of its noteworthy fame. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not bashing the 308. I think it's truly a great cartridge, but I just don't think it's all that in a bag of chips. The 6.5 Creedmoor is unarguably more accurate than the 308, especially at ranges past 800 yards, and the 30-06 simply delivers more downrange energy due to its higher case capacity. Ooh, that ticked a lot of you off, didn't it? Got a lot of you upset, but it's a fact. The 308 is almost a half an inch shorter than the 30-06, and the 30-06 can simply hold more powder. It's math. Loaded with the same bullet and shot from a rifle with the same barrel length, the 30-06 simply has more horsepower. At 1,000 yards, the 6.5 Creedmoor with a 142 grain match bullet has a ballistic coefficient of 0.625. You load that bullet to 2,750 feet per second, and you shoot it with a 10-mile-an-hour crosswind, that bullet's going to drift approximately 68 inches. You load a 308 with a 168 grain Berger match, that bullet's got a ballistic coefficient of 0.519. You can load it up to about 2,690 feet per second. Take that same 10-mile-an-hour crosswind, that bullet's going to drift 90 inches. Elevation you can account for, but if you don't judge wind correctly, 90 inches compared to 68 makes a big difference in the accuracy. So does that mean the 308 can't be accurate out to 1,000 yards? Absolutely not. But what it does mean is the shooter has to be more proficient at their craft. Does that mean the 308 is not a great big game cartridge? Absolutely not, but it does mean there may certainly be better options out there. The 308 has always been and always will be a serious competitor in the competition world, and you will be very hard-pressed to find a better big game cartridge with the light recoil and the stopping power of a 308 Winchester. There is no arguing the versatility and the functionality of the 308 Winchester. I just don't get all weak in the knees when I'm in the presence of a rifle chambered in 308. So why is the 308 so popular? I believe it's for several reasons. One, the 308 has proven itself time and time again, both afield and in competition. The versatility of the 308 in the hunting arena is impossible to ignore. Everything from coyotes to elk or even moose are not going to be safe at the business end of a rifle chambered in 308. I wouldn't even be totally scared to take one into brown bear country, although I would certainly feel better with a 30-06 or a 300 Win Mag in my hand. Additionally, a good rifle chambered in .308 shooting subsonic loads through a good suppressor brings a whole new meaning to the term low-impact hunting. On the range, the .308 has been a major competitor for decades and has been used to win, and win again at pretty much any major precision or long-range rifle competition that you can think of. There's a whole class of competitions dedicated only to .308 rifles. It's very forgiving to reload. Any decent rifle can shoot sub-MOA groups with good factory or hand-loaded ammunition, and the .308 is certainly not scared of the 1,000-yard targets. Additionally, both military and law enforcement agencies have trusted the .308 to get the job done for many years. Machine guns cycle the .308 or 7.62 x 51 ammo smooth as can be, and there's enough energy to put the threats on the ground. In a well-made sniper rifle, the .308 has taken out many bad guys and saved the lives of many others over the years, and has done so with extreme prejudice. Carlos Hathcock, Chris Kyle, Nicholas Irving, Brandon Webb, just to name a few military snipers that have used the .308 with great success. Add to that the fact that NATO has also adopted the 7.62 x 51 cartridge certainly didn't hurt the .308's celebrity status. It is pretty safe to say that if the U.S. military used the cartridge, there is going to be an inherent following. Finally, I believe some of the popularity of the .308 is largely due to saturation. Ever since the Winchester Company released the .308 and started to produce rifles in the chambering, the market has been flooded with firearms chambered in .308. Even the competitors like Savage chambered rifles like their prolific Model 99 in .308 Winchester. Need I remind you that the Model 99 was one of the primary rifles used to carry the .300 Savage cartridge as a .30 caliber alternative to the .250 3000 Savage. If you pick up a Model 99 off of a gun show table, chances are very high that it is going to be chambered in either .250 3000 Savage, .300 Savage, .303 Savage, or .308 Winchester. Every major firearms manufacturer makes rifles chambered in .308 in every conceivable action that you can think of. The .308 has even found a very nice home in the AR platform, like this example from Stag Arms. This Ruger American is chambered in .308 and was the subject of one of my earlier videos where I installed this Boyd's custom laminated stock on it. Lever action, pump action, single shot, and even handguns are all available in .308 Winchester. Ammunition is also readily available in a wide variety of bullet weights and types. Any store that sells ammunition is going to have .308 sitting on the shelf, and companies like Hornady and Remington and Winchester and Federal will consistently tell you that the .308 is their most popular, if not the second most popular cartridge produced at their facilities, second only to .223 or the 5.56 NATO. So after that, what do I think? Well, I think it's pretty safe to say that the .308 Winchester is in no danger of dying anytime soon. As much as some blind devotonists would like you to believe that the 6.5 Creedmoor is the quote-unquote .308 killer, I don't think it's in any danger of going away. I've shot deer with both a .308 and a 6.5 Creedmoor, and I have to say the .308 was much more suited to the job. Now, the 6.5 Creedmoor is really good at punching holes at paper, especially at long distance. I'll never take that away from it. But I would take the .308 over a 6.5 Creedmoor any day of the week and twice on Tuesday when venturing into the woods. On the range, one should never underestimate a gentleman or a lady who has a .308 Winchester in the case. So at the end of the day, the .308 Winchester is just another shining example of a great American rifle cartridge. And nobody will ever be able to take that away from it. With that, let's go ahead and wrap this video up. Now, I hope you found this video a little bit informative, at least a little bit entertaining, and I hope you like what you saw here today. If you did like what you see here today, please consider going down and smashing that like and subscribe button. Make sure you ring that notification bell so you get notified of upcoming videos. And I do put out a video every Saturday morning at 8 o'clock without fail. So just be prepared. You can sit down with your cup of coffee on Saturday mornings and you can watch a little bit of the Jack of All Trades channel. With that, I would like to say thank you to all my longtime subscribers and all my new subscribers. Thank you to everybody who watches my videos. I really do appreciate it. I never ever ask you for money. I don't have a Patreon account. I only ask that you support the channel with likes, subscribes, and views. This is Ed with Jack of All Trades. As always, thank you for stopping by, and we will see you on the next video.